Hello and welcome back to Witchery Part 2. So you recall in the last episode, what we did is we got to sort of Mutandis stage. So it was Mandrake Root, Excel the Horned One, and an egg. And that was going to give us Mutandis, wasn't it? You can see, got 64 at the moment in my inventory. Now I have a further 6. Okay, so there's certain things that Mutandis can do and certain things that it can't do. One of the things that so like I say, Mutandis obviously is we use it to change this stuff around, right? But we have a spot here with a cactus on it. Not going to be able to change that. It's also not going to be able to change any multi-stage plants. And that's one of the things it can't do. One of the things it can do, however, is if we put the Mutandis in here with some rotten flesh, it's actually convert it to this raw pork chop question mark. And then we put that in, it will convert it to a regular raw pork chop. And you can see we're going to go to beef, to chicken, and then it loops around again. Chicken, raw chicken, beef, and pork chops. Okay, so that's cool. But the next thing we want to do is we want to actually create something called Mutandis Extremis, which is a more powerful form of Mutandis. Okay, so the way to do that is we put some nether wart in. We put some Mutandis in. And then it's going to convert it to Mutandis Extremis. But, as you may have noticed, it's not actually working. I'm not entirely certain on the reason for it, but the reason I believe it may be, and it certainly works when I do this anyway, is that there's not actually an altar there. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just wanted to make sure I've set this world to recipe mode. So what we need to do is we need to get some altar blocks, right? So they're these things here. So we're going to need 4 stone bricks, XL the Horned One, and the Breath of the Goddess. Okay, so put the XL the Horned One there, the Breath of the Goddess there. What was it again? I guess I'll just alright, so the water bottle in the middle. Breath of the Goddess, XL the Horned One, and so that's going to get us 3. So we'll do another one there. So we get 3 there, another 3 here. And then we can just place this down here. The altar, I believe, is a range of about 14 to 16 blocks. You can see it's filling up. And you can see it immediately starts working. So that's going to get us Mutandis Extremis. So it must be something to do with it, because I mean it looks that way, isn't it? Okay, so Mutandis Extremis is pretty cool. I'll just get some more, because I don't want to really get some now. Oh yeah, I did change it. Let's well, we'll grab a bit more. I'm going to try to keep it. I feel like I've got all the items I need, so hopefully I'll be able to do it. We'll see what happens. Alright. So say we got a load of it, yeah? What can it do that is different from regular Mutandis? Well, the first thing is that it can actually work on cactus blocks, as you can see there. Maybe we'll get nether wart. We'll get some different stuff as well. The second thing it can do is, see, we've got this dirt block right underneath in this water pool. If we use Mutandis on it, now let me just put it on peaceful just for a moment. If we use Mutandis on it, nothing happens. Use Mutandis Extremis on it, it actually turns into clay. So that's a pretty cool way of getting clay, actually, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So that's cool. And yeah, so the next thing, the sort of upgrade from that, is something called an Ent Twig. Okay, so to get one of those, I'm not actually going to do it because unfortunately it's one of those things where you have to rely on the spawn rate. But basically you cut down a load of trees, you know, rowan, hawthorn and alder trees, and there's a chance when you cut down each of the logs that the sort of tree, you know, the soul of the forest, or however you want to look at it, will get mad and spawn this Ent, which is obviously a sort of mythical creature, right? And that can happen, and the best way to kill it is with an axe, because obviously it's made out of wood. And that will happen, but unfortunately I don't want to sit here for 10 minutes doing it, because it's not particularly fun to do that, and it's a waste of time in the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spawn one, and these guys are pretty fucking tough. And here you can see, right here, is the, well, there's a spider there, but we'll forget about him. Right there, you can see I just got an Ent Twig. Okay, so that's cool. So that is going to let us make basically the kind of magic wand. One more thing, actually, just before I forget, is that if we take the Mutandis Extremis and we put that with rotten flesh, it actually makes the cooked variant. So you remember the Mutandis made the uncooked variant. This is going to make the cooked variant, okay? And again, if we put it in here, we can see that it's actually going to mutate it, okay? So there's another quite cool thing there. Okie dokie. So, yeah. Right. So we've got the Ent Twig. So now what we want to do is upgrade this to a Mutating Sprig. Okay. Mutating Sprig, I believe, has actually got similar properties to the. We're not going to need. Let me just. I want to try to keep my inventory pretty clear of things I'm not going to be needing. Okay. Right. So this is going to be it's similar to Mutandis Extremis. You can actually do that thing with the clay underwater with it, so that's quite cool. So we do need this Ent Twig for it. So we'll put the Ent Twig in. It will go in. Should go in. Oh, maybe it's not the first option. I'm a bit curious, a bit uncertain about the order. Yeah. For this, it seems like you need to be aware that this is a cauldron. So yeah. Then we can put the egg. Then we'll put the Ent Twig. I'm always a bit worried about the order and I'm not putting in too fast, stuff like that. And then finally, the final thing is the. Oh wow! I've somehow mislaid my Mutandis Extremis. Oops. I'm not sure where that went, but anyway. Oops. Yeah, it's quite hard to do because I was thinking of like a million different things at the same time. But I'll try my best to keep focused on what I'm doing here. And then the Mutandis Extremis. Maybe I put them in a bit too fast. Yeah, I think I put it in a bit too far. If you do that, you need some quick lime, which is just wood ash. I do actually have some wood ash. I should have some in here, and you can use that to make quicklime. So that will just explode the contents. Alright, let's try this again then, and we'll try and actually get it this time if I can. Alright, so we'll get the Ent Twig. Oh, I reset it again, didn't I? I'm going to keep on resetting it though, because I do want to try to stick to what I'm doing. Alright, so nether wart goes in first. Okay. Ent Twig. I think it's still going. I'm trying to discern what. Is it ready yet? No, did it wrong, didn't I? Why is that? Do I need to put it in faster, maybe? I wonder what it is. Okay, yeah, I kind of forgot here. You basically just need to power up the altar a bit. So if I just put this thing on, that should be enough for it. I think that was, I just completely forgot about it for some reason. Alright, so yeah, basically you have to make sure it's at least 3,000 in the altar. Alrighty then, but like I said, I don't really want to focus on the altar stuff at the moment. So let's get this thing. Okay. So we put in the nether wart. Oh, we've got the stuff actually. Ent Twig. And Mutandis Extremis. I need the other thing as well. Maybe I need the other thing as well. I need 6,000 for it? That was weird. Alright, so yeah, I think you need 6,000 for it. Which is a bit weird because it's such a. It seems like such an early game thing. Maybe it's not. I suppose I'm doing this thing in quite kind of strange way. Alright then, so you've got the Mutating Sprig. So that's cool. Now, so what you need to do now. Alright then, so now we're ready to go with all the stuff in this book. So, like I said, we wanted to make the Grassper. So we need to mutate it from. It's not tall grass actually. It's just regular grass. So. Get some regular grass, and we're going to do this thing. We're going to basically dig this little cross shape. This is actually very useful for loads of it. Alright, so if we look at what it says we need an empty chest, so I should have one of those. We do. Okay, so go to this design here, put the grass to the side, and then we'll hit it with the is it not Mutating Sprig? Yeah, it is. Should be able to get it. You need to be far enough away that it's not going to actually open the chest. Oh, you can see it does the mycelium thing as well there. Ah. Here's my problem. It needs to be over water. Alright. Let's grab that. Put that down. This down. This down. And boom. Okay, so now we've got some graspers, okay? So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so we made the auto blocks already with the Rome wood, so we're not going to need all the stone bricks, all the sand in fact. Okay, so we've got a load of graspers here. That is cool. So what is a grasper? Well, a grasper basically can hold a block. So if we look at the grasper, we can basically just put anything in it, and it's just like it just holds on one item, singular item. Okay, so that's cool. Now let's move on then. And that's basically the reason I did that one first is because it is the one that sort of goes first. I guess that makes sense. Alright, so we're going to move now on to the wild bramble. So this is going to so we're going to need okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make this a little bit deeper here. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to get a cactus plant. Oh, I did get rid of the sand, didn't I? Oh well. So we're going to need a cactus block, and we can put it up to 4 blocks high. Okay, so let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to need some Spanish moss. It looks like I didn't actually get most of the stuff. I needed so many things I wouldn't have been able to fit it in. I could have used a backpack or something anyway. Alright, so we're going to put some water in each of these corners here. Well, I don't know what's wrong with the water buckets. Oh, it's because I've got no inventory space. It seems to always want to put it in a new inventory space. It's so odd. Honestly, it's probably not much slower though. Alright, so that's the basic sort of setup. So we'll put the Spanish moss in as well. And then I think we'll get rid of that, it's annoying. Okay. Now, yeah, I just want to put a piece of dirt here actually. Okay, let's clear that out a bit more. Alright, so we should have our graspers. Kind of, don't do that. So we've got 1, 2. Keep in mind that all the others are kind of a bit easier than this, really. Alright, so we'll take our blaze powder here. I tried to take only the items actually needed here, to try and minimise the amount of vegetables. And that is the so that is sort of the recipe for this wild bramble. So we just hit it with the Mutating Sprig on the bottom block. And we've got some wild bramble. So basically anything you chuck into this will be destroyed. You'll be injured if you go into it, as you can see. And it can only be destroyed with a golden axe. Not just any axe, a golden one. If you use a different axe, which I'm not going to, but I can assure you it was not good. It basically would just start spreading the blocks all over the place. So you have to destroy it in this way. Okay? Alrighty then. So there's the wild bramble. Now we're going to move on to the ender bramble. So the ender bramble is anything that's walking into the location will be teleported randomly a location of within 500 blocks. So I'm probably not going to want to walk into this stuff. Let's be honest, because that's not good, and it'll take bloody ages to get back. Well, probably wouldn't if I teleported, but fuck it. I'm not going to. Fuck it. So we're going to put that in there. And another thing that I forgot to get is ender pearls. So we'll grab the ender pearls here, and we'll give a grasp for each one. And we need some sugarcane, which we do have. 2, 3. This can go up to 16 blocks high. Do 5. I mean, you know, I think even in Mistcraft Worlds doesn't go there. Actually, no, Mistcraft Worlds, it goes all the way up to the top, doesn't it? But anyway, and then it's a case of Mutating Sprig again, and you can see we have Ender Bramble. If I go into that, it's going to teleport me, so I don't want that. I'm going to use the Golden Axe again, just because I know it's going to work. And I can just get rid of the base block here, can't I? So yeah, there is some Ender Bramble. Alrighty, that's cool. So, all good. Now, next up, so yeah, another thing that I didn't mention about the altar is that you need to have it around trees and stuff, and that will actually increase the amount. Obviously, these things I put on actually increasing the amount even more, but that's basically the main thing to point out there. Okay, so the next one we want to do is the Void Bramble. So you can't actually put any rituals near it, and that's going to be involved with circle magic coming a bit later on. Now the Void Bramble is really it's actually a very high level item, and Infinity is actually disabled by default, but I've just decided to enable it. Okay, so I'm going to need to step back a bit, and the first thing I want to think about is this particular recipe. I'm going to try to actually do this, because I think a lot of the stuff that I actually did do was from this point onwards. So we need this thing, the Attune Stone. So we need a lava bucket, a diamond, and a whiff of magic. And you recall the whiff of magic came from the Rowan sapling, didn't it? Okay, so you just put that recipe in, and you're going to get some Attune Stones, basically. So I've got some here anyway, just because it's quite a long process here. Okay, so you've got the Attune Stone, right? So I will make the next thing, and that is going to be Distillery. So I'll look at that. So we're going to need a couple of clay jars, an Attune Stone, 4 iron ingots, and 2 gold ingots. We won't use that one. Okay, so 4 iron ingots, 2 of those, and the whiff of... Actually, there was nothing like it, was it? Oh, the clay jars are on top. Alright. Do you have any empty clay jars? Did I get that wrong? Oh, it's just across the middle. Distillery. Okay. So we'll place that again quite near the altar, within 14 to 16 blocks. One of these things actually does increase the range. I can't remember which one it is. Either way, though, if we put it without, we'll just put it on this mycelium here. That should be alright. Yeah, that little cross, that little thing. Like. Okay, so next up, let's get some. Not there. Okie dokie. Get some lapis, and we're going to be making Tear of the Goddess. So for this, we're going to need some Breath of the Goddess. You'll recall Breath of the Goddess came from the birch saplings. Might have some of that on us. Yep, we do. And we need to distill Breath of the Goddess, lapis, and a clay jar. Let us try this. So Breath of the Goddess, piece of lapis, and a clay jar. Is it not near enough? Or is it too low? Maybe I should have not put it there actually. Let me just grab another distillery here. Yeah.